Hey guys, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how I did my Mustang overlay. So, here's a close-up. So, I take you all the way from where I don't show you where I found the emblem, but I find my design online and I put it into a program where I can print it out. And I just basically show you from there, what do I do? So how I cut it out, how I get it onto the vinyl, all that good stuff. So if you wanna know how I did this, stick around. Again, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications to find out when I upload new videos. Give me a thumbs up, drop a comment down below if you would, I like to read them. Also, just so you know, do not make these to sell these. This would be for personal use only. Copyright issues, all that good stuff. You're not to make and sell these, make a profit off of them basically. So I love my car obviously, and I wanted a bag to carry around just so everyone knows that I love my car. But so yeah, please just make them for yourself, don't make them and sell them. That's a big no-no. But yeah, enjoy. Hey guys, it's Serenity here. Hey, I just wanted to give you a tutorial on how I did my Mustang emblem vinyl overlay. I am planning on making a Elaine bag by mormino.com, and I'm wanting a little bit bigger bag to carry to work. So this one is great for just out and about, but I need one that's a little bit bigger for work. So I'm going to be doing another Mustang overlay. So to get this, it's called Scrapbook Factory Deluxe. It's something I've had for years. I used it when I used a scrapbook. It's just a program. Let me see. Right there's a little icon. It looks like a little green and red book with an S on it. Scrapbook Factory Deluxe. I don't even know if they sell them anymore. But anyway, I got on here, and this is a regular size piece of paper. It's just kind of like in Microsoft Word. You could do this also. But I found my emblem online, and I copy and pasted it into my program that I want to use to print it out with. So whether that's Microsoft Word or something like this, or maybe Adobe, I'm not sure. I don't use Adobe. If you can even do it, I don't know. But and I, sometimes I have to print it out a couple different times to get the right size. But that's all I do. I copy and paste it into the program, and then I print it out. And I'm gonna go ahead and do that right now. Okay, and then since I already know what size I want it, I'm gonna kind of take it to my other bag, and it looks pretty good. So I had it already saved on my computer, so I didn't have to print it out several different times to get the right size, but I did have to do that the first time. Now this is the front piece, the main panel for the Elaine bag. And so when I'm gonna cut this out, but when I do cut it out, I wanna kind of lay it to where, if I want to do my zipper, optional front zipper, that's, whoa, right here is where I'm going to cut my fabric. So I want to make sure this is small enough to fit within the seam allowances and it won't get cut off when I do cut that. So I may actually print this just a little bit smaller just so I know that it's going to fit good, because I do want to put my exterior zipper on there when I make the bag. Okay, and I have decided to make it just a little bit smaller, which I've already adjusted. But when you go to print, I'm going to go up here to File and click on Print. And just so you don't waste a bunch of ink, you can go to Properties, Paper Quality, and click on Draft and Black and White and hit OK, and then Print. And it won't use as much black ink when it prints out, just so you can get more, for your money out of your ink. And it prints faster too. Okay, so it's not extremely noticeable, but this one is just a little bit smaller. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is, I don't wanna cut out each line. As you can see, I made it all one piece, and the only thing I really cut out was just these tiny little white spaces. So what I'm gonna do right now is, just with my marker so I don't mess up when I'm cutting it out, I'm going to just fill in those white spaces, just so I don't cut them on accident, because I don't want to do that. I want to keep this all one piece as much as I possibly can. And I know his foot right here is probably gonna look a little silly because it's going to be like connected, but I mean, I did the same thing in here. So, you know, I mean, it'll be fine. It'll look fine. I didn't want to have to piece a bunch of pieces together. So that's why I chose to do it like this. It changes the design up just a little, but not so much to where it takes away from anything. So I think that's good. Let's see, I did fill that in. Okay. And I did fill this one in, okay. Okay, so that's the only change I made to the pattern before I started cutting it out. That way everything is attached and you're not putting little pieces together to make it all fit. Okay, so far this is what I've got cut out. My pieces are all floppy because, well, I didn't wait for my ink to dry, so it kind of wanted to curl up as I was cutting. I have one of these. It comes with a different blade, but this is one of the extra blades, and my other blade was dull, so I had to put the new blade on. This one works just as well. It's just kind of curved. It's not as straight as a normal like exacto knife, but I'm just going to use this to cut the rest of these pieces out. I would suggest waiting until the ink is really good and dry. That way it doesn't, you know, rip or anything like that. But there's that. I won't make you watch all of this. I just wanted to kind of show you the little knife thing that I use and how I do it. And this is the same way I cut out of the vinyl as well. I'll use as much, like these I think I got from Missouri Star Quilt Company. I can't remember. They came free if I bought so much product, but they're really sharp. I don't even know what kind they are. Anyway, they're really sharp. So I use those to cut around all the bigger stuff, and then I use these for the smaller stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish this, and then I'll catch back up with you in just a second. Okay, now I have my exterior panel pieces traced. The main panel piece, and this is my optional front panel zippered pocket. I did that here. This is the wrong side. I have both of mine traced out. I haven't cut them yet, but anyway, I'm just laying this on top to make sure that it's gonna fit. Don't mind the shadow, bad lighting, but yeah, just to make sure it's gonna fit and to remember you're gonna have your seam allowances. I think it's gonna be good. I'm gonna go ahead and do it anyway. I may just like cut these down just a smidge, because really that's the only problem I have. I should try to keep it true to its size, but I don't know. If I do, it's just gonna be a tiny little bit, but I think I'll be all right. It'll just be close. But anyway, I would suggest doing that before you actually cut this out of your vinyl. That way you know for a fact you don't have to recut or anything like that. So that's just a little tip that you'll want to do before you do all your cutting. Okay, so now I'm ready to transfer my paper design onto the back of my vinyl. I got this at Hobby Lobby. It's really soft and buttery feeling. It's like a fleece backing. Anyway, and I don't want to lay it on the right side of my vinyl. I'd rather lay it on the wrong side. So when we lay it down on the wrong side, make sure this is upside down. Okay? If it's something simple and it's not this design and you can just kind of hold it and trace around it, that's fine. I like to use double-sided tape just because it's not gonna move whatsoever at all, and I can easily trace it and all that good stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and just, I don't know if you can see, but I put just a little stick right here, and I cut like a long piece of tape basically. And I'm just gonna cut little pieces off of it. Oh, I keep bumping the camera. Okay, I'm just gonna cut little pieces off of that, and on the right side, you're going to put some double-sided tape. You don't have to be a lot like that. You can just put like a little bit, like so. And all the important areas that you really don't want moving. It's mostly just the edges. So you can really get a good tracing line around them all. It seems like a little bit of extra work, but if you're going the extra mile to make one of these overlays or any overlay, I mean, you want it to look good, so why not go a little extra, you know? Okay, there's that. That looks pretty good. I'm gonna just turn the camera off and put just a couple little more ones here and there. Kind of tedious work. And then I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. I even cut some of my tape in half, long ways, to make it nice and skinny so it would fit on its leg. So what we're gonna do is get our piece. You can even use a piece of scrap, whatever you have laying around. And we're gonna slowly peel these off. Like I wanna do his tail first, and then I will slowly peel the rest of them. So go ahead and peel that off. Lay him to where he's definitely gonna fit. Just kinda, okay, so now his tail is good and stuck. Just flip him up and continue peeling off. Okay, not sure how good this tape's gonna stick. Huh, sticking pretty good. All right, I'll go ahead and a little at a time here. I'll do just these up here, and then I'll turn the camera off again and get it stuck the rest of the way down so you don't have to watch all this boring stuff. Okay. Get the head stuck on, and then I'll finish the bottom of it off camera. All right, 1 second. All right, we're all stuck down, good to go. Since this is black, I have to use my Fons and Porter chalk pencil type thingy. This tape is super sticky, so if you wanted to use, I don't even know what I did with it now. If you wanted to use your exacto knife, you could probably get away with not even tracing around this. You could probably just carefully cut around it. I like to have the trace line. It's just, I don't have to worry about nothing moving. Once I trace it, I can take this off, and I don't have to worry about my paper shifting and cutting my piece out wrong. So right now I'm just gonna go ahead and trace around all of this. And while I'm doing it, I have kind of a funny story. I'm always doing something goofy or something funny. So anyway, the other night I was feeling goofy and silly, and me and my daughter were kind of joking around throughout the day earlier. Well, I was getting ready for bed, and she was out on the couch, and I was in the bathroom, and to leave the bathroom I have to walk past the couch and through the hallway back to the bedrooms. And I had my pajama pants on, my pajama shirt, and they're like my favorite pajama pants, and they needed to go in the wash, which is right beside the bathroom I was in currently, brushing my teeth. And I was thinking to myself while I was brushing my teeth, I'm like, you know, I could just take my pants off now. It was just me and my daughter, and put them in the dirty laundry since I'm right here, because I don't want to have to go all the way back to the bedroom, put something different on, come all the way back out to put those in the dirty laundry, you know. So anyway, this is what I was thinking, my weird brain, how it works. I was like, okay, so I could take my pants off, and then I could go running through the house in front of my daughter, you know, to try to embarrass her or just be goofy, running through the hallway and being just silly, you know, with just my underwear on and a t-shirt, you know. And then my luck, in my mind, I pictured myself falling and tripping and my legs flying up in the air and then like looking like a complete idiot just in my underwear, you know. And I could just see my daughter's face like, what the heck are you doing? And so while I'm brushing my teeth, I just start laughing my butt off at my thoughts. Like, yeah, if I were to walk out there, even if I were to walk out there and not even try to be silly, just walk out in my underwear and t-shirt, which I've done before, my luck, I would probably fall, and then she would be looking at me like, oh my gosh, where is my mom? What did you do with her? So, but anyway, I thought that was kind of a funny story. I'm always trying to think of like little stories to like talk about or say or tell or whatever, because sometimes I don't know what to talk about. But I just thought it was hilarious. I started laughing like so hard in the bathroom by myself, brushing my teeth. I'm like, oh my gosh, I am so dumb. So of course I came out, I left my pajama pants on, I guess, if you want to know the rest of the story. I left them on because I'm like, yeah, that'll happen, my luck. And I went out and I told my daughter, and she just started laughing. She's like, oh my gosh, Mom. I'm like, well, it would have been funny though, right? And she's like, yeah, but you probably would have fallen and then your legs would have just been all over and you would just had underwear on and it was just, yeah. So we had a good laugh over my goofy thought process, if that's what you want to call it. Okay, I am going to, ooh, this is sticking out really good. All right, I'm just gonna kind of double check all my edges here to make sure before I take it all up that I definitely traced around everything. I guess I am taking it up, but sometimes if you're not careful, the paper will rip and then you can't put it back down. So just be very careful, especially if you're using this type of double-sided tape because it is super sticky. I would, yep, I just ripped it. I would suggest getting, here, I'll have some, I'll show you. I would suggest maybe getting the Scotch kind and cutting it if you need to or whatever. It might work better. I don't know how good it'll stick to your vinyl, but it won't be as sticky as this leather tape. So it might be a better option for doing stuff like this. Just go ahead and take this all off. And this will not be reusable, so if there's a way for you to save your design on your computer in case you want to use it again, I would suggest doing that at the size that you like it to be at, or you can always, you know, make it bigger and smaller. But that's what our piece looks like. The correct side of it is the side that had all the tape on it. I'm going to throw that away now. Squeaky chair. And I am going to make my vinyl smaller. Move all this out of the way. And I'm going to carefully cut around all of the outside, basically just like I did with the paper. I'm gonna cut all the stuff that I can with my scissors, and I have a little bit smaller scissors I can use. And then all these tiny little pieces, I'll come in afterwards and cut out with this. So I'm gonna pause it real quick and do some of the outline cutting, and then I'll come back and do the detailed cutting with you on the camera. Okay, I got the whole outside cut. How cute. Okay, now all I got left to do is all these tiny little pieces. Just give lots of pressure. I try to keep my finger right after that blade so it doesn't pull on my vinyl and distort it. I try to keep it, hold it down the best you can so it doesn't shift. It's kind of hard to see my chalk line here. I might do a lot of this off camera too. I don't want to bore you guys here. Okay. All right, looking good. Some of the vinyls have like a white backing to them. I've never used it, but there's like an edge coat type stuff you can paint on the sides of it to make the edge of your vinyl the same color, you know, like black or brown or whatever. I can't say what to get because I've never used it, but I know Lauren talks about it in some of her videos from So Whatever. Lauren from moremino.com, which is the creator of the pattern I'm going to be making today, the Elaine bag. I've never made it before, so this will be a first for me. I'm excited. It looks like a fun bag. I'm excited to venture into more than just Emily bags and everyday totes because that seems to be all I ever make anymore. There's our second little hole. If you have tiny scissors, I mean, you can go ahead and try those too. This is a different vinyl I've never used before, so it's kind of, I know you probably can't see much of what I'm doing. It's just the tiniest little holes, but it's going to make a big difference when we put it on our bag. Okay. Oop. It's awfully stretchy. I love it though. It's not stiff. It's nice. All right, one more. I'm just kind of looking at my pattern over here to make sure I cut it out correctly. Okay. I guess we're about to find out. It was so nice out this morning. My husband and I took the dog for a walk at the fairgrounds. It was gorgeous. It was like 65 degrees out when we got up. It was so nice. Okay, so there's our overlay. The next step we're going to do is attach it to the front panel for our bag. Okay, so I'm back. This is the front panel that I'm going to be putting my vinyl overlay on. And this is the wrong side. I already found the center, which I didn't need to do because I'm not putting nothing on the back side. But in order to do our front panel zippered pocket, you're gonna have to eventually cut this piece of fabric once you've, you know, anyway. So instead of drawing the line on the back, I should have drawn it on the front because I'm putting this on there, so I need to know where to put this so it's centered and all that good stuff. So I'm just measuring how far down this line is. I'm not gonna give the dimensions. Hopefully you can buy the pattern. And I'm gonna use a friction pen just because it's something that will come out. I won't be ironing this because it is vinyl. And I guess if you're watching, I guess you're gonna see the dimensions right now as I'm doing it. But anyway, I'm just using the friction pen just because I know it's a pen that, you know, it will come out if I mess up for some reason, but I don't think I have anything to worry about. Okay. I would leave that sit to dry just a little bit before you start like playing with it, but I don't know. Yeah, you can see it in the video. Okay, so what I'm gonna try to figure out is where I want, sorry, I need to get my stuff, is where I want to place this. I want it to be centered. So I am going to like take my ruler and see how far up it is from the top and from the bottom. I kind of like where it is right there. I'll move it down a smidge. But same with the edges. In order for it to be exactly, you know, from here to here and here to here, it's gonna look off. So I'm probably gonna go the center stripe, make that my center. So I'm gonna measure from here over and from here over. So I have a 0 on my ruler. So I'm gonna go ahead and lay that on top of my vinyl where the center of this line is. And I got about 2 inches here and like 1.5 inches over here. So we'll move it a little bit. Actually, about right there would be good. Okay. However you need to find your center, you do you, however it works. I did get ahead of myself though, because I want to put some more double-sided sticky tape on the wrong side. So I'm going to do the same thing I did over there. I'm going to cut kind of a long piece, stick it on the edge of my table, and just cut a couple pieces off. You don't need nearly, I mean, you don't need like a whole bunch. I would just definitely put it on all the edge pieces. You don't want nothing to shift. I mean, you went through all this work to make your overlay nice and pretty and, you know, all that. You just don't want it to shift. And if you think your tape is maybe a little too big, you can cut it in half the other way also. I don't think it'll move. This tape's pretty sticky. I don't think I have to worry about, oops. Ah, it just came off. All right, a little bit more tape here. Or you can just hold it, I guess, in a big piece here, and whatever works for you. Yeah. So just, if you have an industrial machine, this is a good idea. Mine at least sews through this tape like it's no big deal. Domestic, I don't know if I would recommend this tape just because a lot of domestics don't like this double-sided leather tape stuff. wawak.com is where I got it. Awesome stuff. I thought about doing a video for a domestic, but now that I have my industrial, I don't like sewing bags on my domestic. It's really hard to make myself do it. So I probably won't ever do it, but maybe one day. If I decide to make a bag on my domestic, I will definitely do a video. It'd be more of for a video type thing anyway. But anyways, okay. I know my center, so I'm gonna go ahead and that looks pretty good. Where were we this way? 1.25 inches-ish. All right, so I like that. I'm going to go ahead and sit this cup on top of it and just take a couple pieces of tape off just to get her, whoops, to get her good and stuck down, and then I'll move my cup. Okay. Oh, doesn't want to come off. There we go. And my lines are not perfect, and I'm fine with that. It's not a big of a deal. So now we just gotta peel more of this tape off. I'm gonna kind of leave these here, but I'm just gonna peel these off and lay those down. Make sure it's nice and straight and all that good stuff. All right, I'm gonna hold the tail out of the way, I think, though, and the head. All right, so far so good. I'm liking it. Go ahead and remove the rest of the tape. If you have a better way of doing this, if there's like a certain glue you like that would work, I don't know, because I've never used any of them. So yeah, use whatever works for you. Okay, 3 more pieces. Last one. Okay, we have it all stuck down. It's not budging, and then we're going to take it to the machine. Okay guys, I'm gonna try this new view. I can't see the screen when I'm sewing to make sure it's looking good and that my hands aren't in the way, so I'm just gonna sew a little bit, and then I am gonna stop the video and review it really quick just to make sure that we got a good angle. But I'm gonna start down here in the corners, down here in the corner, and I'm gonna try to stay pretty close to the edge. Like I said, I'll start this little video first, and then I'll hold it up and show you when I do stop to look at it. But yeah, I'm gonna start down here and go this way, and I am going to bring my needle down so I can physically see where it's going to start. I am changing my stitch length really small to about 2.5. And some of these you may even want to crank when you have just these small areas. I'm going to lower my needle, okay, and then go ahead and sew straight up. I'm going to go around, which means I have to do this. Just gonna hand crank a little bit here. 1 second. I'm trying to line up this part of my foot. Let me see if I have something I can point with. This part of my foot with the very edge of my cutout. That way I'm nice and close. If you have to readjust, you can move it just a little. And I'm gonna crank again. Okay, and then go back down. Okay. And I want to turn here, which means I need to go down just a smidge more. Do a couple cranks here, and we're going to get blah, 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 if I could talk. Gonna go down the next stripe here. All right, now I'm gonna stop so I can check the video really quick, and then yeah. But I guess I can show you really quick how close I am to those edges. Okay, okay, I reviewed the video, at least the first little bit of it. I think it looks good. I'm gonna go ahead and just keep sewing. It looked like it was a little bit shaky when I was sewing fast. I think the arm of my camera was leaning up against the table, so I did move it out just a little bit. But I think, let's turn you just a smidge more. I think we're good. Okay, let's go ahead and start where we left off. I want to start just a little before it and sew over the stitches I've already made, just a couple of them. Okay. Since this is a short area, I'm just gonna go ahead and crank it with the hand wheel and then move on. When you get close, just hand crank it, no big deal. You need to move just a little bit there. One more, and then turn. Trying to make sure my hand's out of the way. A little bit more. And it is really close to being in the way, isn't it? Sorry. I better hand crank it again. Okay. Just trim this really quick. Okay. It goes out just a little, the design does. You don't have to like follow it exactly. This is kind of the boring part because I want to hand crank it because I don't want my stitches to look bad, I guess. So that's just my preference. It's up to you. If you're in a hurry, go ahead and sew right along. I'm going to turn my machine down a little bit more too so I don't get crazy. Okay. It doesn't even seem like it went any slower, but it did. Okay, making myself nervous. Too much turning. Okay, I may finish this off camera just because it's so tedious here, but let's get around the horse's head here and see how it goes. Okay, I'm gonna get right up in those ears, not ears, it would be his mane. And then right back down, because you really want to keep those edges staying down so they don't fray. Well, they won't fray, but you don't want them to peel back or get caught on anything. That's what we're trying to get as close as we can to the edge. I'm sure you could do this with cotton, but I haven't. And I know the edges would fray if you just left them plain like this. So maybe you don't want to use cotton. I don't know. All right, since his mane, I don't know if you can tell, but his mane goes further and my stripe is behind the horse technically. So I think what I'm gonna do is stitch, hopefully you can see what I'm pointing at, I can't tell. I'm gonna stitch over here where a little bit of his mane still is and make one large stitch all the way across my stripe. So yeah, that's what we're doing right now. Let's, more hand cranking. Okay. All right, and then just go back again. You don't wanna do too much back stitching over your vinyl. It could perforate it and weaken it. So we need to adjust here. Okay. Nope, one more. Okay. One more. Whoop. There we go. All right. I will finish this stripe and then I'll do the rest off camera. This last stripe, that is. Because it's just kind of the same thing over and over again here. Hand cranking is no fun to watch. It's boring and slow. I mean, you might think it's fun, I guess. I don't know. Oh. I'll tell you what, I'll just keep going. If you don't want to watch all this, you can always fast forward, I suppose. I would suggest fast forwarding because I'm not really talking about much and it's kind of boring, but that's completely up to you. And this is where that sticky tape really helps when you're going around all these tiny little corners and stuff. Especially when you got to hand crank and turn a bunch. I just wish my machine was a little bit smoother like my domestic. This would be easier when it comes to turning. Because it goes so much slower, my domestic does. Okay. Phew. Okay, so let me cut this really quick and I'll show you what we got so far. Let me zoom you out. My goodness, there we go. That's what we've got so far. Let me zoom you out a little bit more. Now all I have to do is go around all these little holes and stitch. I will do that off camera. It's tedious. You got to start and stop on each one. This one I did travel a little bit, but in the grand scheme of things, you're never even going to notice when you're carrying the bag around. No one's really going to care. But I am going to do each of these individual. So I'm going to do it off camera real quick and I'll be back. All right, guys, that is it for the vinyl overlay. I don't know if I'm going to put like a GT, a 5.0 type thing on it or not. I put the 5.0 on the back of this one. But basically, that is the how-to for how I did my vinyl overlay. This will be a separate video than the actual video for this bag. So now I'm gonna go ahead and finish getting all my pieces ready and reviewing the pattern and getting ready to do it, and then that'll be a separate video. So yeah, thanks for watching and I'll see you soon. Bye.